Hello. So it's Sunday, and I'm here. And let me share that this is live so people can come find me on give me Twitter, give me Twitter. La la la. I'm live on YouTube making my thing. Wait. Close Twitter. So what I'm doing today is I've got this lovely cane that I wear to work, carry to work frequently. Um, some mornings I don't need it and I leave it at home, and then halfway through the day I regret my decisions. But I don't want to be carrying my cane every day and then complaining about having to carry it and how annoying it is when I don't need it. So, because it's a snazzy folding cane, I've decided I want to carry it in my purse. But the tip of it gets kind of dirty from being on the ground, and I don't want it touching, my wallet, my house keys, and whatnot. So I'm going to use my fancy Red Heart neon. It's called black light, and I haven't tested if it's reactive under black light. But I'm going to make this and to just a little pouch that I can slip my cane into and carry to work, and not have to worry about it if it's a day I don't need it. So let me see. I measured my cane, and it's about as big around as my wrist when it's folded. So I just need to make a pouch that I can fit my fist into. So I'll start with a foundation chain. And so I'm having a fun weekend. My roommates are moving in right now. Because we have a nice big house, so we decided to move some friends in with us, kind of just help take the burden off of everybody. I really wish more people would think about how their friend groups are not that people call their friends like family, and more people should actually treat those friends like family. And when anybody needs something, you find a way to make it work. Lots of families live together. I hmm, actually think I'm going to just work the first row. I'm going to do the first row normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the first row just a normal row in half double crochets, because I want that nice solid fabric a half double gives you, but it has more give and drape than a solid single crochet would work. Single crochet is nice, but I find it's a very stiff fabric. And that's just not attractive in a thing for me. But yeah, so the boys are moving in. They're great guys. I've known them for a few years. Um, and we're in for a fun couple of weeks because they have a cat. And our house is still in an uproar ever since we moved in the old man. And today was the first first formal introduction of one of my cats to their cat, and it was an interesting experience to watch them stare each other down for control of the bedroom. It wasn't even a big territory. It's a little tiny room up in my third floor. I almost want to call it an attic because of all the gables. I haven't quite figured out what the difference between a third floor and an attic really is. Should look that up sometime when I'm, you know, not hands full of yarn and YouTube. The last few days, I haven't been listening to so much of the history podcast. Instead, I've been listening to a lot of YouTube videos from certain atheists talking about cults and cult like religions. And that's been interesting to listen to. It gives me a little bit more understanding about some friends who follow a slightly different religion that can be considered cult like. Um, but at the same time, it's intriguing because I look at my friends who are in this other faith, and I see none of that cult like activity. I don't see them refusing to be around people who are different or anything of the sort. Um, but it's been interesting to listen to. Should have connected this first. Let's back up. Try again. So I will do a slip stitch here. And then go up and then work my way back around. I hate the first row when you decide to turn something into a sleeve because that first anchor point is so awkward every time. Actually, I'm going to pull this through and anchor it at the bottom with a knot because I can do that. It's my project. I can knot if I want to. So we decided in the car this morning on our way home from breakfast that we did want to do a Labor Day cookout. Something I don't remember ever doing. I had a 4th of July cookout once ages ago, and I had a birthday party a couple of years ago where we cooked out. But when it's all said and done, I really don't do big cookouts because they're expensive and, you know, invite a bunch of friends and they show up and they eat all your food and they leave all the mess. And I'm a really awful hostess, but I figured the roommates moved in. Let's celebrate them having a long weekend, celebrate us having a long weekend. make some hamburgers on our fantastic broken grill, celebrate the unofficial end of summer. Because after September 1st, well, pumpkin spice season started this week, and I've had my first pumpkin spice latte and been made much fun of. um, I bought pumpkin spice bread when I went grocery shopping on Friday and got made fun of because, well, at least it has real pumpkin in it. So we had many laughs about that. Um, but pumpkin spice season means the beginning of spooky season. So we changed out our welcome mat, and we now have spooky a spooky cat in front of a full moon as our welcome mat, and it will stay there until harvest season is over. Then we have to decide what we want to do for the final fall feast in November, and then what we want to do for winter. I've also got my happy harvest decorations up in the doorway because door hangers are a simple way to decorate. They're super cheap, they're super fun, and they make me feel less like I'm living in an apartment. Well, they made me feel less like I was living in an apartment when decorations were hard to come by because I was too poor. And you really couldn't put up Christmas lights, but I could stick a wreath of bells on my door so that whenever anyone walked past, it would jingle. So I still hang door hangers for every season. Somewhere in October, we'll switch from Happy Harvest to my purple pumpkins. And then I don't know what we'll do after that. I could probably do a fancy stitch pattern on this, but I really think this yarn kind of is crazy enough that it doesn't need any extra detail. Let me hold it up to the camera in the light. It looks better and you can see it. I took the candy corns downstairs to my living room the other day. Okay, this morning. Last night. I didn't sleep well, and I don't remember if I did it before or after the last round of sleeping. So recently, wow, my time is bad right now. I took down the candy corns this weekend to work on while I watch TV because they're so small and they're so fiddly. And I'm constantly picking up the scissors, putting down the scissors. It just didn't seem like something good to be working on while I'm trying to talk. I'm waiting till more people actually start watching me to ask what people would like to see me rattle about on here. Because, truth be told, I could sit here and run at the mouth about books I've read, TV series I'm binging on Hulu, the gossip I read on my favorite drama website, my D&D games. Um, I could try to give crochet lessons if that's what people want to see. I figure that's better accomplished by people with more experience and better camera setups who've done all of that, and I don't know that I have anything special to add. I think after Christmas gets through, I will definitely spend my time focusing on a specific project that I'll work on whenever I come on here. Um, I can't do that yet because as Christmas projects come, I don't need people who I'm making anything for to potentially see what I'm making. And I'm not sure who all I'm making for just yet. I've got a few ideas. Um, Sarah's not one of them. I already made her a scarf for this winter, and I already told her what I'm buying her for Christmas because I'm going to buy her something that she will actually use far more than any scarf or hat or blanket. And I wanted her to know it was coming so she didn't try to buy it for herself. Um, see, where did I put my cane? Let's make sure it passes through here properly. I think another project I need to do is find something to hang behind me so that this wall doesn't look quite so bright green. Oh, this is actually bigger than I wanted. Mm, oops. I guess I'll take it in a few stitches. Because that's a wonderful thing. I can do that. And I go up one and up one and pull through everything. I think I'll pull it in by four, or by four. See how that goes. Two at the beginning, two at the end, all pinched in one place. Might look better if I spread the stitches out properly, like any normal pattern maker. But I'm not making this pattern for anybody. I don't care what it looks like. I just want to keep my stuff from getting dirty. Go to mine. Nope. I will do this on. What did I do? Everything is crazy. Here, phone. Excuse me. My phone is bleeping. People are doing things. I am surprisingly boring. I know I tweeted that. I'm live on YouTube. Share tweet. Telegram. Tell people what I'm doing. Share a tweet via Telegram. Wonder where my craft chat vanished to this time. And see if anybody shows up this time. I told you, Sarah, I'd be up here for about a half hour. I lied. Because I got to figure out where we're going to go for dinner tonight. Speaking of tonight, has anybody looked outside today? It is ridiculously hot. Like, even in my air conditioning, I don't want to be fully dressed hot. That's why I'm just wearing a tank top that kind of barely covers me because I wish I could be politic about it, but let's really be honest. I am not a small woman, and fat people sweat. So even if a plain white tank top doesn't look the best on me, I really feel like not being a sweaty, gross mess. What did I do? Aha. And I messed up. There's one, there's two, there's one, there's two. Rip out stitches. And because I wanted to reduce stitches here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. So I need to pay more attention to where the end of my round is because it vanishes. You can tell it distinctly at this point, but as I work around, it kind of lays down and blends in. This is such a ridiculous color. I bought it when I made hats for our Grow Up Great. Grow Up Great? Or was it the other? Shoot. So my company does a charity drive several times a year for less advantaged children. And we just had our big back to school drive. And everybody brought in mountains of notebooks, pencils, erasers, Kleenex, what have you. But in November, we're going to gather hats, scarves, gloves, mittens, um, not necessarily coats, because there are other charities that do that, but the little things that children are always losing. And I'm going to actually dig out my pattern and probably end up making a couple of hats for that. Because honestly, everybody at work thought they were the cutest things ever, and I loved doing it. Because all of those little tiny hats were just so adorable. And that was that. Back to the beginning of the row, chain to connect them, and go. I really prefer the spiral effect of nope, not gonna try to pronounce it. That you use for making stuffies. But I don't love how hard it is to tell when you've reached the end. And finishing when you do the spiral is surprisingly complicated. I don't know. My throat is getting sore because my throat is getting sore. So I'm going to go for now. I'm going to go talk to you, Sarah. We'll figure out where we're going for dinner. I got to go pick up some hamburger stuff. And then I will be back tomorrow if I have the energy for it, if not on Wednesday. And anybody has something interesting they want to hear me. Oh my God, I have a watcher. Um, hello, whoever's watching me. I wasn't looking. Um, thank you for showing up, but I'm going to be leaving because my throat, and I'll be back on Wednesday to talk about anything. If anyone has any ideas, by all means, message me on Twitter at Morgan5, and I'll ramble something about more interesting than the vague goings on in my head. Thank you.